All right, welcome to the Rocket Launcher podcast. I am Supreme King. I am here joined by my co-host, and his name is.
It's your boy Omazus.
How you doing today, sir?
I am hot. It's hot.
It's hot. You
It
know
is
it's
hot
crazy,
out.
man. It's because I see for myself. It says it's 83 degrees outside and it's cloudy, but I don't feel hot. I don't have the air conditioner on either. I don't have it on. I think it was on like earlier in the morning, but I turned all of that off. Like I don't feel hot. I'm cool.
Be real. If
Yeah,
it's above 68 degrees, I'm hot.
you're hot.
It's hot. It's too hot.
Are you sweating right now? Are you sweaty?
Always. Yeah.
Always.
I
Nice.
got fans on, sweating. It is. I am just hot all the time.
You got some pop or Kool-Aid or some ice cream or something to
I just had ice cream and now I'm just so much water.
okay.
Gotta hydrate.
Yeah,
Gotta hydrate.
I'm
But
big on water. I'm like, if anybody who knows me personally would know, I like to take big water jugs, right, and just put them directly in the freezer. And then afterwards
makes sense.
I take them out and they'll thaw throughout the day, but there'll just be this giant brick of ice in it in the middle, and then you just like you kind of add water to it like later or as you go, and it always makes it like ice
Okay.
cold. And so I do that all day, every day, basically. Just big
I have to try
water.
to.
Yeah, for all of our local listeners out there, if you go to a Walmart, you can get some of their apple juice, the Great Value apple juice. If you're not too bougie, the Great Value apple juice is usually this really big, like liter plus apple juice. I don't know, it's like a really big jug. And then once you're done
Oh
with
yeah.
that, you can, flush it out and then put water in there and you just put it in the freezer. You just got this big amount of water. And so I would get like two or three of those. Like I would get one once a week and then toss
Okay.
like the oldest one once a week. And the apple juice is usually like $2 and some change. Just like they give you a lot of apple juice for that. It's not even that bad,
Oh,
but
that's what's up.
afterwards you get to have, like a lot of water. But anyway, this is not really a healthy podcast. We can try to be healthy. This is
Gotta
about
be.
gaming. And the first thing we're
Yeah.
going to do is rip these NFTs into pieces because I have that. We're going to put that first. I've already released something on that. I don't know how many of you have watched it, but go ahead and watch that. And then also watch this one as well. But NFTs, sir, are you
Yeah.
ready to buy
Yeah.
some NFTs? How many NFTs you got so far that you bought?
Whoa. I got a hot zero.
Zero.
Because these
Oh,
things
man.
need to go away. They're just in the way. Like, these NFT bros, man, is crazy.
NFT
You hear the story about the fake
companies.
dating app?
Nah, what was the fake dating app?
It ended up being a prank, but a lot of news sources covered it. That there was an NFT dating app that they were gonna make called Lonely Ape, but it ended up, the report said that it got canceled because there was no women on there, and it was just
Oh my
men.
god.
And all these news sources covered it, and then it turns out the whole thing was just a joke. But
Yeah.
the fact that it was that believable lets you know how like I even feel about these things. It's just they need to go. It's
The
in the
ape
way, and I
thing is
don't want it
crazy
affecting
too.
games.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
like
I
I
don't
was just
get
gonna
the
say like
ugly ape.
because they keep going there with the ape too. It's like a bunch of them keep trying to do it, and they're trying to make each one slightly different, and then they'll sell that one and say like this one is unique. And it's like anybody else who don't got any of them and stuff, who's not like really sold by it, they're gonna look at it and say, well, they all look the same. They all look like the same ape. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It's just like you
Yep.
like what's on screen is Saints Row, like as if you just changed your designs around, your clothes around, or anything like that. It's like that's what made it different. But other than that,
Yeah.
it would be the same design. But I dropped a vid on the spot on Square Enix trying to come out with NFTs, and apparently they're gonna try to stick their nose in there and they're gonna try to be slick with it, but they're still doing like Square Enix still comes out with their games. You know what I mean? They still come out
Yep.
with big names, and then some stuff might fall off, and some stuff takes off. I said that before, but I don't understand why Square Enix. Like when you look at some of these gaming companies, like Square Enix, it's like you are only doing the NFT to try to get something out of
Uh-huh.
nothing, because as the company you understand, it's like, yeah, it really is just a picture. Like you understand it. You're trying
Yep.
to convince everybody else to do it. It's insulting to us as a consumer, not just a gamer. Just as a consumer, it's insulting.
Absolutely. It is. And then speaking of because you mentioned Square Enix doing this, they're
Yeah.
not the only ones, unfortunately. There's
No.
this new studio called Lithos, I believe. Is how you pronounce it. But it's a former Days Gone director and
Yeah.
somebody who used to work with The Last of Us.
You know what's so bad
They
about
got this
that?
game coming out. Go ahead.
I just want to say what's so bad about that. When you hear that, the first thing you think is like, oh, they got somebody from Last of Us and Days Gone, and they're gonna do a third like really nice like game on PlayStation that's just all zombie and stuff. And then you hear like, oh no, it's actually an NFT game called Ashfall, and it's like,
Yeah, and it was like the description of the game sounded real cool. Where it was like it's like it starts off as a solo game that's very like heavy in like the story and like all the crafting and survival and all this other stuff. That eventually turns into like a PvP game where everyone's like solo game and how they played are gonna all come together using Web 3.0. So it's supposed to be all high tech, but then somehow it was like, yeah, it's NFT driven because blockchains, and it's like, come on. Come
I'm trying to
on, you just ruined
understand
it completely.
what would make it a quote unquote NFT game, because the whole idea is that you have something that's quote unquote going to be valuable, right? And that you're going to be able to sell it to somebody else and make
Uh huh.
money, right? Wasn't that the whole idea of like when PlayStation made that video to take a shot at Xbox back in 2013, when they were just like, here's how you
Yeah.
trade your game or something? I'm like, weren't we already doing that? Like, wouldn't that be the idea of having an NFT game, is that I could sell you a
It's-
game, you could sell me a game,
yeah, except
a
now it's a
physical
picture.
copy?
So I think within the game, you're going to
Yeah.
be able to purchase some NFTs that are going to help with survival things. And then they said there was an in-game trading thing. So it's like somebody else was like, "Oh, I need this to survive." So now you're trading NFTs in the game or selling them for money, and it's just like,
So it's like
okay,
the
like,
legendary Pokemon, right? Like where you have
yeah,
I get Violet, you get Sapphire, right? And
yep.
so now these games are trying to trade legendary Pokemon, right? In a way, just in a sense.
In a
That's the
sense,
only way I
except
can understand it, really.
at least in Pokemon, you can use the Pokemon, like, and it helps to fill the national Pokedex. These NFTs, again, it's just a picture. It's been like, I know they say don't steal them, but I'm just saying if you screenshot, I got the picture.
Oh,
Like,
yes,
it
yes,
makes no sense. Like, it doesn't need to be in the game.
yeah, and I think the disconnect too is just they are approaching it with this idea that they're doing something, they're trying to sell it to you like they're helping you out and they're giving you
Yeah.
opportunities, when it's like, no, you're not. We already had the opportunity. That's buying a game used from each other, but now you're cut out
Uh huh.
completely. And so it's like, no, that's bad according to them. It's like, no, you got to buy everything new. And not only that, you gotta rebuy within the game, and then rebuy, other games that we have. And it's just it's they're going to keep trying to bring it back because it obviously benefits them, and there's not
Uh huh.
much you have to do, because on the back end you're just getting a few artists who's going to just draw up everything every day.
Yep.
And if it's like, I don't understand how it's going to work. I would like for them to still do one as an experiment overall, just so I can see it, because I don't understand. Because
Yeah.
right now I feel like I could share anything with somebody. You can game share with people if you want.
Uh huh.
It's just when you do it those type of ways, it's like technically you're taking money out of their pockets and you're putting more money back in your pocket. And so they're trying to show you something where it's going to actually cost you more money and it puts more money back in their pockets. And then it's supposed to look good on your end because you're supposed to believe you have something valuable. That's the only thing I can get from it. I don't know.
You know what? It should be Square Enix that goes ahead and makes this. They've already been like releasing some other not great stuff
Yeah.
recently, so let them do it anyways. Uh, like, cause they were Babylon's Fall, right?
Yeah, Square Enix will be the
I
only one
believe
who will
so.
be
Yeah.
it. Square Enix will bounce back
Yep.
quicker by doing
They
this.
already released like a bunch of horror games. I mean, and I can mention this real quickly, and then we can move on. But like,
Sure.
Babylon's Fall fell to 0 players currently on
Yes.
Steam. I was like, they can only maintain about 5 at a time. So, yep, Square
Yeah.
Enix is no stranger to. I mean, they had Avengers and like everything. They're no stranger to a messed up game. So let them be the ones to experiment with this NFT game, so we can see how bad it is. And I'm 100% sure it'll be bad.
Yeah,
And then we
and
move on.
Babylon's Fall dropping down to 0. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't play it. I had no
Oh,
interest at all. But
I was going to until I watched gameplay footage.
and
It's
that's
it's
funny too,
it's weird.
because
Like,
yeah, I was just gonna say it's
go
funny
ahead.
because like when you see we came up with all these game shows, and one of the things that is always a thing at the game shows is they try to disguise the footage. They try to edit the footage a certain way, and it's like you guys realize once the gamer gets these games in their hand, once the streamers get it, once all the YouTubers get it, like they're gonna bury it anyway if it's bad. You know what I'm
Uh huh.
saying? Everybody's gonna bury it. Everybody who has a platform, because it makes their platform look good if they just show how they're angry with something. It gets flipped. The energy is flipped, and then everybody else sees something entertaining. But you guys won't have, like the game would just die. So Babylon's
Yeah.
Fall basically just died. It was like there probably was no reason for it to exist in the first place because Square Enix already had so many titles with bigger names anyway that was in the works, that was already out, that was doing just fine. Even with the Avengers like not doing as good as it should, I'm pretty sure the Avengers game after the fact still did better than Babylon's Fall. It was like Babylon's
Absolutely.
Fall, probably more resources could have just went to everything else across the board of what they already had, Final Fantasy, all of that stuff. It did not need to exist to begin with. When you looked
Yeah,
at
and
it, it
like
was just
I'm
like,
always down for trying new stuff, right?
yeah,
Like try, but like they were releasing so many like really fails, like
yeah,
like one after the other. They had no. Some of the energy should have gone to making those better
yeah,
instead. And what I was gonna say before, it's kind of crazy that like, so there's a charm when a game looks old school, right? Like a little 8-bit game.
yeah,
But I feel like your two things is either it has to look old school, like it has to be on some like Super Mario N64 or like Castlevania style, like
right,
it has to be old school, or it has to look graphically great, like Callisto Project and or the Callisto Protocol and like
right, right.
some other stuff like that. Like it has to be one of those two. And I think that's where Babylon's Fall fell off because it looked like a PS3 game. And I feel like that's too in the middle where it just doesn't look done. It did not. It doesn't have that retro charm, and it's not graphically impressive. It just looked.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I could also throw this game in there real quick with Babylon's Fall because it's another one that's about to come out that's probably going to die too. I forgot the name of it, but I can describe it to you. You might remember. But Capcom had a game where it looked like you was a bunch of robots and y'all was about to go shoot up a bunch of dinosaurs. Did you see that? Like it was
Yeah.
something that
Oh,
they
what was that
show.
called?
It was that they show. And it probably don't even
Yeah, I.
matter what it called
Oh,
because you
I
know it's gonna die just
remember.
like the other one. It was like they tried to create their own version of that, It's like, guys, stop with these games where you're trying to have these live service going on and on. Because it looked like you're doing minimum effort in it. It does. It does. And that looked goofy.
So primal.
For yeah, for me wanting something like I still want a game where ironically, you probably in a survival setting. I think more people was more wanting Dino Crisis. I think
Yeah.
like a remake of that or whatever. And that's something that's very similar simply because it had dinosaurs in it, but it just looked very poor. And it was just very clunky looking. It just looked chaotic in a way. And it was goofy at the same time. It was goofy. And it's going to be the next Babylon's Fall, obviously. Because let's really be clear here. Like, why would you play that? For a lot of people who
You
working
don't
in
want to see a
there,
dinosaur?
huh? Say it again.
You don't want to fight dinosaurs?
I would
You don't
love to
want to fight
shoot them.
dinosaurs in a robot suit?
Shout out to Second Instinct. I think that's what it's called. Second Instinct. First person shooter. They got these big dinosaurs. They kind of ripped off the Jurassic Park dinosaur that where they kind of like created it a little bit, or Jurassic World. And that was a game where they had like all types of dinosaurs, and you were in first person mode and you shooting them. It was like that looked better at the very least. It was very similar to what you do in here. You didn't have like any transformers though, but you were still shooting the dinosaurs. Like these are still like Capcom still has all the Resident Evils, so they could do the Dino Crisis. They understand the formula to an extent. With the raptors on the inside or a T-Rex on the outside and you in the same kind of setting, instead of it being like a haunted mansion, you're just in the big building or whatever, like the Jurassic Park. They could easily rip Jurassic Park. They could easily rip that off a little bit and create a whole series and do that. There's an open lane for that type of game. But
Dude,
there, I
maybe
don't
Exo
know.
Primal will get there. Who knows?
I don't know, but this was supposed to be about Babylon's Fall, and we completely went on to something else. That's how bad Babylon's Fall is, and that's what they get. It shouldn't have exist. I'm sorry, not sorry. That one just should have not exist. It just shouldn't have exist. They had too many other bigger names, too many other more well-established products. This wasn't something that was a let's take a risk. You know what I mean? This was something where they just threw something together. Like everything in it you saw before. It wasn't a risk. It was just
that's where my issue lies. Like I'm all for taking a chance and trying something brand new. I mean, I still, and you mentioned it before in one of your other videos, I still want a AAA Power Ranger game, and that technically would kind of be a risk. I just think it'll work out. However, this didn't feel like you just said. This didn't feel like a risk. It felt like it was something that was thrown together. And it's like, if you're going to take a chance on something, go all in on it. Don't just like haphazardly do it and then just release something and be like, there you go. Right? Like it should look top notch upon release. That's what I want. Like if you're going to try something brand new, make sure it still looks great.
I'm gonna be honest though, with Babylon's Fall though, it looked like something that didn't look good from when they first started to probably when they was ready to put it out. Like I don't see where that looked good anywhere. It looked like it probably was something where a bunch of people probably might play it just so that they can trash it. But even then, it's like you do that one time maybe. It's like maybe you played it and then uninstall. But I don't see that.
They're trying to jump on the JRPG hype. But a lot of the current JRPGs have like name behind it. But like at the same time, like for example, Scarlet Nexus. New idea, but like you could tell they put effort into it. Like they were really, we had this solid idea. They really put effort into like releasing it versus Babylon's Fall, where it's your standard JRPG looking thing where you fight monsters and then they remove cutscenes and they had like oil paintings where they just kind of like talked over it, and it's like, so you didn't really like some people may call it like an artistic choice, but it's like, no, you just didn't put efforts into cutscenes. That's all. Uh,
Yeah.
like you could have easily like it could have been a better like oil painting sort of like comic book style where it's like flashes through several oil paintings to tell the story. But it was like, no, you just showed like one oil painting and then like had some talking over it. And it just didn't look good.
Yeah, unfortunately,
And it looks like a mobile game.
yeah, so many games look like mobile games now too. Like
Oof.
without even being like it's almost on purpose. Like they just make them more polished looking because of the graphics, but like the way they
Some of
move,
them.
some of them, But I guess we can move on from Babylon's Fall. I guess that's good.
Yeah,
Shout
but
out,
real quick about the NFT thing though that we were talking about because
yes,
those need to go. Part of the issue too is having some of these celebrities trying to promote them with Eminem's new music video with Snoop
yes.
Dogg, and I thought it was a good song. It's just it took me forever to actually watch it because I was like, they're going to Bored Ape. I don't want to see this thing because I'm not trying to hype up anything with NFT in it. And I really wanted to just see the music video to see how it is, like just as it is, how they wanted to release it. But I was so tempted to just look up a lyric video and call it a day, just to like not watch an NFT thing.
For everybody who went and spent their money on NFTs, like congratulations, you basically just paid Eminem and Snoop Dogg because that
Yep.
money, because you already know they don't care about that. They don't care about that at all, and the production and all of that was still done by everybody else or whoever else they put in the credits at the end. But them, like, they got a paycheck. They got a big
Yeah.
paycheck, so that money, and they got real money for it. So they made sure whoever was paying them, converted out of crypto so that they can get their money
Yep.
to make the song. And they
Well, it
did, and
turns
it's
out they're
still
both crypto bros.
they both crypto. Bro, that's probably still good, but I'm pretty sure just for that video, they got paid in money. Ain't nobody send them no Bored Ape picture.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, here's a Bored Ape picture. Like, I wish I could do that. Like, hey Snoop, like, yo, come on my page. I got a Bored Ape picture for you. I give you this Bored Ape picture. You come on my page. Like, no, he gonna want some money. He gonna want hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably millions of dollars. So, yeah, song was dope. I'll say it sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, the Bored Ape thing, it almost looked cartoonish. Like it looked like they were
Yeah.
like it reminds me of like Cuphead having their own TV show now.
Uh huh.
Like it looked like that's
And
probably the wave that they're going with. But yeah, go ahead.
the premise looked great. Like secondhand, from the smoke, and then all of a sudden, like, that reality between cartoon and realistic and everything, bouncing back and forth. Like it was dope. It's just the fact that it was an NFT made me go, like I didn't really, it didn't gel with me. And it's like Snoop Dogg and Eminem got so much money that they waste on NFTs. Like they've spent so much money on NFTs. They got little like NFT clubs and things like that. But it's like they have the money to waste. And if I had that much money, I still wouldn't waste it on NFTs. Like it's just I don't get it. I
On
don't
the
get it.
on the
And I
NFT
haven't heard
side, it
one real
was
good explanation about it.
it's this Eminem Snoop Dogg song was a big investment move for the NFT people, whoever owned the Bored Ape thing,
Yeah.
because now they have like because some celebrities were getting onto it just because they were trying to find other ways to be relevant, but like this type of
Uh,
move really takes that to another area. I'm all for just watching the cartoons and stuff straight up, but I'm not about to buy one. I don't see myself buying it. I don't. Somebody
Same.
can gift me one, sure, if they say I quote unquote own it somehow. But I don't mind. You can gift it from me. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be mad about it. But as far as
Well, on a
buying
plus
one,
side,
I don't know.
yeah, buying not gonna happen at all. On a plus side, with NFTs dying out a bit, GPU prices are going back to normal
Yes, and I
ish.
actually saw something where they were talking about like the mining was going down to the point where the people doing the mining were looking to sell their actual GPUs.
Yeah.
and they're not even trying to scalp them like that. They're trying to just get rid of theirs, because there were some people who would set up a room or a storage room or something, and they would just have hundreds of those things going. And they didn't even
Yep.
have, like, if you ever seen some of those videos, they didn't even have like PC cases over anything. They just, like, everything was like out in the open, like stacked on each other a little bit. And they just had them on all day, and they would go back and check it once a day or something to make sure one of them didn't burn out, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. I was like, man, is it that serious? It was that serious. But at least for the people who are trying to get PCs, my suggestion to you, if you haven't already started um, building it or buying the pieces, you still want to hold off until this upcoming Black Friday, unless you're at your last piece and the GPU is your last piece of the puzzle and you just can't wait. I would say still hold off until Black Friday before getting one, because the prices are dropping now, but they're really gonna drop around that time frame. If it, unless the NFT thing does explode again, or not NFT, but
Yeah.
the whole crypto
Let's hope
mining
this
thing.
yeah, let's hope this Eminem music video doesn't get crypto to bounce right back up. And then
Yeah,
they should be dying out. Or these games. Let's hope these games too. Like, because NFT always leads to crypto, and then that leads to mining. So let's hope if these go away, prices go down.
yeah. Speaking of a game that might die out, have you heard of Halo Infinite's, not Infinite, Halo Master Chief Collection doing its microtransactions? Like at the last minute, they
Not fill
decided
me in.
to. So basically, for everybody who's living under the rock, Halo Infinite is going through some things right now. Halo Infinite is going through depression. Halo Infinite is
Oh,
going through some hard times. Halo Infinite, needs a better job or something. Halo Infinite is not doing too good. Halo Infinite has some bad relationships. Halo Infinite got people talking about him. I don't know what's going on
whew.
with Halo Infinite. So
Press
Halo
F for
Infinite,
respect.
yeah, and so the powers that be, the people that are in this bad relationship with Halo Infinite, have decided to take it out on Halo the Master Chief Collection. And basically, this collection is a collection of all of the previous games leading up to Halo 5 for the most part, right? And so for some of these games, they're old. They're going all the way back
Yeah.
to the beginning of Xbox. But what 343 is attempting to do now is like incorporate microtransactions into the games. And there's still, you got like 5 games here, right? They're incorporating that into games that are just as old as the original Xbox now. You know, so I
Uh,
mean, going forward,
yes.
you'll start seeing some. There was a whole deal of the cat ears thing at one point. You can probably see some cat ears, and you're gonna
Yeah.
see just the same stuff. You might actually see an NFT. You might see an NFT in this as well at some point. The skins and the guns and stuff. But yeah, like for a game that
Anything
was
to make a
old,
buck.
yeah, anything to make a dollar. Like it's crazy because this game was in a very rough state at its launch, and it took them years to get it to a playable state. And then afterwards, it didn't really get polished until we were hearing about Infinite and going on over to Infinite. And Infinite is supposed to be a game that technically is supposed to last 10 years, according to them or according to reports. And it's like the way that they're going to do this is by having these microtransactions. And
Uh,
here's my thing about microtransactions. I'm not mad at them, and this is why. Because I'm not going to buy them. It's
yeah.
just that simple. For a lot of people, all you really have to do is just put your money where your mouth is, basically, and just don't support the microtransactions you don't want to, and then support the actual games that you want. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
actual purchase of the game itself, physical or digital. But don't buy all of the cosmetics, don't buy all of the guns. Even if it doesn't go away overall, for you and your household, you don't have to worry about nothing because you're not going to buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Master Chief Collection is cool. I'm about to start going through it again. Like, but I'm not about to buy anything as far as
Yeah.
microtransactions. I don't need no cat ears. I don't need to attempt to make one of them look like Iron Man. I don't need to do none of that. It's a shooter.
So,
I'm going to shoot
as
stuff.
a person who does love customization options in
Okay.
games, as you know, I think where I get frustrated is if I've paid $60, $70 for a game
Yeah.
and then you can't customize anything unless you pay even more.
Yeah.
Like I understand locking some behind. So, like for example, Fall Guys, right? I didn't have to pay for it because PlayStation Plus, and now it's a free to play game. So they're doing some of their little. They've always had it, like a few microtransaction-y sort of things, but
Yeah.
they also had unlockables in the game, right? Or games like I mentioned before, so Diablo 3 or like Outriders, things like that, where it's like they have unlockables within the game. That's cool. But it's like if you're like, no, you can get all these unlockables, but you can only pay for them, then I get upset.
Yeah. I
And I understand free to play games having some microtransactions because they were free to play to begin with.
yeah.
Then I support, some I don't. So like most free to play games, like I'm not putting any money in because it's free to play. But if it's a game that I'm really enjoying, I've done like a lot out of it, and they're not like targeted. Like I definitely avoid the ones where it's pay to win. Like I don't play those
Yeah.
games. But if it's really just like you're getting all this joy, all this stuff, and it was all free to begin with, maybe I'll throw them like a couple dollars. Like here's $5 for all the fun, and then I get something out of it. And you really only get that from a lot of more indie sort of games. And I don't always do it. It's just every once in a while. Um, but they're not like intrusive. Like these, they're not like
Right.
the
Right.
focus of it. Versus other ones where it's like the moment you open the game, it's like, hey, you want to go to the store, buy some stuff from the store? It's like I don't even want to play your game now.
Yeah. The Master Chief Collection is still cool though. It's still cool as a game. It's just these are moments where they find a way to kind of like put an aftertaste in your mouth with some of these
Yeah.
games. It's like it makes you, if that was a game that's in your rotation, like, oh, it's whatever, it's a Wednesday night or something, I'm kind of stressed, I just want to play something. It's like now you're
Uh,
taking that out of people's rotation. Now they're just gonna go to something like Borderlands, maybe. They're gonna go to I was gonna say Apex, but I guess you could put, they're probably just gonna go somewhere where it's not as egregious. You know what I mean? But I would say
Question:
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
in Halo first person?
Yeah, it's first person, but yeah. So when people was doing the cat ear thing, it's like they did raise that question. It's like you're not even gonna see it. Like you're not gonna
Yeah,
see your cat
but
ears. But I guess it's so everybody else can see it. You see it in the screen when when they do the tally up and everything, like, or in the very like the loading screen or whatever. But like
God, I am not putting money
yeah, you see
for an outfit that.
the Iron Man colors too. Like they had the whole Iron Man colors, and it's like, but you still only at the end of the day, like in game, you're gonna see their like hand, right? And you got the gun, and then you still
Yeah,
got to focus on shooting your opponent. You still got to focus on winning whatever the stipulations is. You still got to go capture the flag. You still got to, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's
So like
so
as you notice for Borderlands, right? I when we play Borderlands, I do change my outfit a lot and
yeah.
everything like that. Even though it's first person, I didn't buy any of those.
Yeah, it's in
Like they were
game.
in the game, and it's like I know if they were like, "Hey, you could buy this skin," I wouldn't do it because I can't see it in general play. Like this is
Yeah,
just me doing it because it's in the game. And again, like any sort of game, like for example, Dead by Daylight,
yeah,
I had that game for free, So me buying a skin was just me supporting the developer for it
Mm-hmm.
real quick. Uh and even then after I did it, I was just like, why'd I do that? And then like, 'cause it was still first person. Uh
Here's the
that's
thing.
for the killer. It's
At
weird.
the end of the day, the word microtransactions, just like NFTs, are curse words in the gaming world. So the second
Yeah.
people hear it, they're just going to go away from it. They're going to be pushed farther away from it. They're not going to want to play it as much as they did before. Just by hearing that word, it's already a bad word in gaming. And so I'm not sure if they're going to accomplish what they want to accomplish, but just know they probably got that fan base to dwindle slightly, and it's going to increase the more egregious they make it in the long run.
Yeah.
Now, other than that, I do want to mention there is the game Naraka, I believe it's called. It was the hack and slash thing that they showed at the Xbox show. It's like free to play. Like I'm
Okay.
interested in playing that. It's supposed to be like an online based game, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna have some microtransactions in that. Um, I don't plan on buying any of them, but I do want to play the game. It looked like they had some Fortnite elements to it because in the presentation it was like all like almost CGI ish, but it was like all the hack and slash and karate moves and stuff, right? But then when they showed the extended gameplay, at some point they pulled out the gun and it almost came off like Fortnite for a second. It's like you could switch between
Uh,
both depending on if they far away or up close, and so that's the thing. But I do still want to play it. I would like to play it, but all the free to
Same.
play games are gonna have their moments where it's like that. It's just we the people who are consuming the products, we just have to be mindful of what we're spending money on. I've heard of people spending thousands of dollars in Fortnite. I don't know how you
Yeah.
do that, but that's not
Yeah.
me.
It's just
I'll never do that.
no.
I'll never do
Yeah,
that.
it's those or the people spending thousands in like Madden, for the ultimate teams, like anything that's like pay
Yeah,
to win or like the loot box stuff. Like, nah, shut it down like they did Star Wars Battlefront. Like
yeah.
when they threw the loot boxes and I had to apologize and take it right out. Like that's what needs to happen for a lot of these games.
Unfortunately, the only way that's gonna happen is if the people stop paying for it. They just
Yeah.
have to stop paying for it.
Yep.
I don't think it'll ever. They'll try to create new ways and stuff, and then you'll have people be more of an apologist for it. But the actual people, I think the people who might complain about it, I think that they don't have anything to worry about as long as they themselves don't pay for it. Because even
Yeah.
when some games might be a little compromised, like you still get a game that'll come out that'll take its place that's going to be better. You'll say like, well, why didn't this big name game be the game that should have been big? It was like, well, like for example, like Marvel Avengers just didn't do it for people, but Guardians of the Galaxy did, right? So
Yeah.
it's like you always have that replacement game. It's like there were so many conveyor belts of games, and this past like earlier this month, it was so many things out there that you could pick stuff out of. So somebody else will be able to do it. For me, example, Attack on Titan absolutely dropped the ball with their game to me, but
Oh.
Spider-Man is so much more of a polished game, and you still do some of the same mechanics, like the web swinging type mechanics, And the combat obviously is better. The story, everything is much more polished. So it's like, okay,
Uh-huh.
I don't have Attack on Titan as a game, but I can still watch the show, and then I can still play Spider-Man as a game, and get my web swinging ish experience on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
Yeah. No, I get you.
we advocated for a Power Rangers game. We might not ever get it, but you do have Batman Arkham Knight. You still have
Yeah.
Batman. You still have them.
I've
They're
actually
still
been
there.
playing it again.
You been
I've
playing
been playing
again?
Arkham Knight again.
Uh,
Yup.
Trying to hype yourself up for that mobile game that's coming out.
I actually should stop playing Arkham Knight so I don't compare it so much for when Gotham Knights come out. But
Yeah.
oh,
We just have to see. We can't judge. You
I,
got to judge the finished product, right? You always got to
yeah.
reserve your final.
Hopefully, us judging it now gives it the Sonic treatment where they like, all right, let's fix that. Like that would be great.
Shout out to
Like
Sonic.
at this point, it's not even copying if they do the like Arkham style combat because Arkham did it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man did it. Technically,
This one looked
Middle
like a
Earth,
situation
the
where they
Shadow
should
of
have
Mordor.
copied. It looked like they should
Oh,
have
absolutely,
copied. Where
absolutely.
ones, yeah, I don't know.
Ooh, I can complain about that game for days.
Well, let's move on for that. We shout out to Gotham Knights. I think Gotham Knights will still make their money, and they'll probably have their microtransactions too. They're gonna make their money, man.
Yeah,
They gonna figure it out. They gonna figure it out. But it's okay, man. It's not like we have a shortage of anything superheroes. Like we gonna get some superhero stuff. They're gonna keep doing Batman. I didn't see the movie yet, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, you
I
liked
went to
it,
theaters
right?
to see it. It was, yeah, I did. And I will say, for those that haven't seen it yet, it's long. Like, don't beat yourself up if you want to watch it in the two
Yeah,
settings.
some of them are really long. Like all the superhero movies is long at this point. They all average two
Being
and a
a
half
super nerd,
hours.
yeah, being a super nerd, I don't mind like sitting there just watching superhero stuff. I
Yeah,
can admit that this one was like maybe just I don't know exactly what could have been cut. I think there was like certain like a minute here and there, like on each scene,
right.
that could have been taken out that would have shrunk it down maybe like 20, 30 minutes, which I think would have been perfect. I think it was about maybe for me personally 30 minutes too long. So that means probably for everybody else it was about 45 minutes too long.
Okay.
But to me it's still top-notch movie. Like I think they did great. And it just reminds me again sometimes I got to stop sometimes questioning who they cast and everything cuz it's easy to right away be like, "Oh my goodness," but then they pull it out in my opinion in the end.
You know what's funny, man? Speaking of who they cast, I know we were supposed to save this a little bit longer, but let's have some fun with this, man. Somebody cast Ezra Miller at some point.
Woo!
Somebody
This
cast
guy
Ezra. Good old Ezra.
is
Yes.
he is a menace, but is he also a hero? So like
Is he
everything
also a
that's gone
hero?
on, he's not a hero. But the stuff so like to recap, right? He was in Hawaii harassing couples and threatening them, right? And it was just throwing
I'm
chairs at
just
people
trying to
during karaoke.
understand. Yeah, I'm just trying to stay like for the whole story because there's so
Yeah,
many things that was happening with this dude, and it was just like
yeah,
at least on the surface, it looked like you had it together. At like three,
yeah.
4 years
Then
ago,
they
maybe it looked like you had it together, and then all of a sudden, it just seemed like story after story after story, and I'm just like, what is you doing? Just sit down somewhere and make money as an actor. What is you doing?
yeah.
Like,
I
what
do
is
not
you
know what they're
doing?
doing, but so Ezra did that, and then they got accused of like grooming and like some 18-year-old girl is now living with them in Hawaii,
This is
and the
crazy.
parents are like concerned. And then the court was looking for them, but they just disappeared. Like apparently in
But
Hawaii, so
like,
Ezra just like disappeared.
even before that though, he was in the car threatening the White Hoods. I don't even know if I can say their name, but he was
Oh, yep,
threatening them in
yep,
the
yep.
Uber or something. Like I'm like, dude, like I know the driver was probably sitting there like I'm supposed to be starstruck, but what is going on here? He over here just on camera, just threatening, and we're like, who do you know behind the
Yep.
scenes and what is going on? And it's like he's supposed to be the hero in that particular situation technically,
Yeah,
but it was just like, it's just
but
crazy.
unhinged.
I was
Yeah.
just like, nah.
So now the new one is that some mother and her like two babies are at his are at their farm in uh, Vermont, and I don't know if Ezra's there or if they're still in Hawaii, but the family is now there at the Vermont farm, and the husband is like, "Oh my God, my kids are in danger." And there's like a photo of like the 1 year old like biting the bullet or something, and it was just like there's guns everywhere, and I'm
Jesus
concerned. But
Christ,
then the wife was
man.
like, the husband was abusive, and Ezra saved her. And then I mean, it's very similar to like the
He
18 year
saved the
old saying
day.
like, I wanted to be with Ezra, I ran away, right? So like that was the are they a hero joke,
He the
like a
Flash, man.
hero
He
or
got
menace?
away. He
Yeah,
the
the Flash.
Flash.
But it's
Cause
just
I saw he was on
why,
the
wait,
run at one point too, right? Wasn't he on the run? Like
yeah.
the Flash was
Wait
on the
till your
run.
movie's out. Like, wait till the movie's done before doing this. Like, stop
Yeah.
doing this stuff when the movie's too far filmed to like
I
start replacing everything, but not close enough to release that people can still complain about it being released. As a DC fan who loves their movies, regardless of opinion on them, I'm just gonna enjoy majority of the DC movies. Stop being a menace.
I mean, they even made him look a little crazy in the movie too, because he still slowed down the time so he could touch the girl face and stuff, which was not in the first cut.
That
It
was
was
weird.
just, it was like
That was weird.
it's like if it came out that that was his idea, everybody would believe it. If it came out that him falling on Lois Lane, or not Lois, on Wonder Woman in that one film,
Yo,
like people would probably believe it now that if it was his idea, like because
whew.
the dude is like I don't understand it. It's just I really don't understand it because it's like a celebrity thing. It's like you gotta be in a position because he's still young. Like he's in a position where he was making millions and then making he could have made more millions, a lot more millions in so many other films in so many other ways. And it's like dude is just sitting here doing that, like being crazy, being all over the place, and it sounds funny when you're reading it on paper, but in real life, it's like it probably is terrifying because you never hear like this is the first time you hear of a situation where a celebrity like somebody has to get a restraining order on the celebrity. It's usually the other way around. It's like it's usually the celebrity that have the stalkers and they know certain people are like extra crazy because they're like waiting outside their house for hours and hours and hours. It's like no, we got to get we're getting a restraining order on the Flash. Like we're getting the restraining order on him. That's how crazy this story is with this dude. It's
I would have been
like
like, what? Like, you're getting the restraining order?
yeah,
It's like, yeah,
it's
why?
all over
He
the
was
place.
in our hotel room yelling at me.
Uh,
Like, what?
how does this even happen? Like what? It's like every
Just,
little
what?
detail involving this dude just does not make sense. It goes so far against the grain for a
Yeah.
celebrity to act or a regular person. It's like if you was that far gone, like how does that happen overnight? Is what I'm saying. It's like you would have had to been a little bit gone beforehand. Like you don't just that don't just happen overnight. You know what I mean? Like maybe it does. I don't know. I'm not a health expert. I'm not a mental expert.
No, I
Nothing
think
like
it
that.
builds up, but sometimes I feel like you may not have the money to like
He got the
do it.
money.
You know what I'm saying?
He got it. He got it.
Now, so like, right, but I don't think
He,
they had that type of money in like
when was
2010,
when was
right? So like
the
now,
first okay the movie not the Snyder cut. What year did the other one come out? Like oh, I
let's
forgot.
find out.
Like
It came out. I should know this like by heart. 2017.
did he get paid the least? He didn't get paid even if he got paid the least. He got paid more than Steppenwolf. He got paid more than him.
Good.
He got paid
Yeah.
more than them random Amazons in the background and stuff. He better had. He probably definitely
Yeah, I
got
mean,
paid
but
more than
then
Cyborg, and that's a whole
like
other thing.
I know Ezra was first like really noticed in that movie Perks of Being a Wallflower, but like
Okay.
not enough to like stardom. It was just enough that people recognize them. But then all of a sudden, when it was Batman v Superman, so he's getting the DC money, and Fantastic Beasts, so he's getting the Harry Potter money.
You know what, man? He probably just need a hug.
2016 is when it's like started. Needs a hug.
He just needs a hug, man. You remember when they had it was a video of Kanye West calling himself being like a super Christian at one point, where he was like in this like he tried to recreate like a John the Baptist moment where he goes into a pool and like all these fans or something goes in there with him and they just had this giant group hug. Did you see that?
Yep.
It was a while back. I'm like, that's what Ezra probably need.
That's what Ezra needs. Okay.
That's what he needs.
Who's gonna hug him? The rest
I ain't
of the
gonna hug him. You
superheroes?
can hug him. I ain't about to do it. Somebody can do
I
it.
want to.
Whoever.
I feel like I hug them and then I go missing.
Yeah, he'll put the restraining order.
I'll be lost in Hawaii with
the restraining
Ezra.
order on him. Yeah. Ezra, if you're listening to this, just give me your money. You just give it to me. I'll figure out what to do with it. You can go.
It's crazy because like Ezra's weird enough that like he could. Like it's like, are you listening to this? It's like in the comments, like
he
I was
probably
listening.
is. Yeah.
You know, like,
he probably like, yeah, I was listening to this, and I don't appreciate what you said. I'm like, oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. All right, we can move on from that. I don't know how quick we want to make this. I have here. We want to talk about Stray having a meow button.
well, this won't take long, but it also goes to prove that this might end up being the AA game of the year. So already to me, game looks great, right? You're a cat and you're parkouring around a city and everything, and you're a cat. Yeah. And they really want to immerse you in this cat experience. So they said that they're gonna have a dedicated button for meowing, and that it like scenes where someone's like talking to you, because like the robots in the city talk to you. While they're talking, you can hit the meow button and meow over them and everything and try and cut them off because you're just being a cat.
So we got some ghost.
Yeah, that's what cats do.
Goat simulator kind of thing going on a little bit.
Sort of, yeah.
All right.
That's gonna be great. You're just over here. So when I meow, each meow, like just over. That's like, all right, fine, figure it out yourself.
So I got a question for you for this cat game. I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick. Are you anticipating this now more than you are anticipating the Gotham game?
I would be real. Yeah.
Yes. You are.
I am a DC fanboy, but after seeing the Nightwing Red Hood thing and then seeing the Stray gameplay, I feel like I'm going to have less complaints about Stray than I am Gotham Knights.
One thing I used
makes
to hate,
me so sad.
YouTubers used to do this. I used to hate this where like I remember when the game systems first came out, Series X and PS5, they would sit there and be like, if I had to choose, I would go with this system or that system. And in my head, I'm like, you literally never have to choose because you're in the middle of a lockdown and you bought both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like you're never going to have to choose. You'll never be in a situation worse than this. You literally got both of them. It was kind of annoying, but I guess I even though I say that, I want to ask you the same question. If you had to choose and you could never play the other one, which one would you play?
I can only play one and never play the other?
Never play the other one ever.
Dang.
Would it be Stray or would it be the Gotham Knights? You never can play the other game. Which one would you pick?
If I had to pick one, I think, if I'm being honest with myself, I'm too much of a DC fanboy to pass up on the Gotham Knights one.
It's all about the bats.
I love the cat game and it looks great.
Cats versus bats.
But,
the bats win.
So here's the specific reason why, thinking about it.
Okay.
So for Gotham Knights, they did say that you can go through the game as just one of the characters if you wanted to, without having to like switch between them, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, there means, technically speaking, there is at least 4 playthroughs that you could do for Gotham Knights. I can't promise it's a great game, but there's at least 4 playthroughs because there's 4 different characters you can play as for the whole thing. Versus for Stray, I feel like once you do it right, it seems like a very linear platformer. Like from what I seen in the images, it looked like it was just like here's this hallway, like or here's this like sewer hallway, go through it and everything. So it feels like it's more of a one playthrough sort of thing.
Okay.
But I'm so happy I don't have to just pick one.
Yeah, yeah, you won't have to just pick one. But I guess that's still cool. I mean, Batman does have a name that's bigger than Catwoman,
Yeah.
I guess. But
If you had to choose, what would you choose?
I probably would go with Gotham Knights over Stray if I had to
Okay.
choose. If Stray still, I actually think Stray. You know how they have the new Ninja Turtles game right now, right? A lot of people are reporting it that it's very short. So far, I've never seen
Uh
any complaints that it's very short, but the average person is beating it in under like 3 hours, right?
oh wow, okay.
I feel like Stray is like slightly longer than that, but it like slightly. I don't think that they go farther than that. I think
Okay.
that's as far as it go. But I did have another topic here that I found on the internet that I thought would be interesting if we touched on it here. But somebody
Sure.
asked a question that says, can a game that has little to no replay value be considered a classic or a masterpiece?
Absolutely.
What do you think of that? So you're saying yes.
I would say yeah. And
You
here's
have
why.
any?
I think that there are a good chunk of horror games,
Okay.
that probably could be considered like top notch, but I don't think there's really replayability in a horror game because everything you know what's gonna happen,
Yeah, like I
right? Like
feel the
you
same
know
way
it's
about that. Yeah.
and I do feel like other games, like I think uh God of War and Spider-Man PS4, I think those are masterpiece games. Um And even though I have like played some of Spider-Man 4 a second time, they're not games that I think necessarily warrant a second playthrough.
Right.
Um, but are great. But you know what? I think I know what skews my opinion on this. And why I say it's okay. It's because I primarily play story-driven games. Right? So if you're playing a story-driven game and you know the story in and out, unless there's like a new way to play it, you're
Yeah.
not really going to play it again because it's just a story. You know the story.
Right.
You
I
know
think
everything's gonna happen.
that's what gave PlayStation its edge this past generations. They had a lot of story-driven games that were like very high production, but a lot of them really are one and done. However, people call them classics. People call them great. That's the reason they get the console. That's the reason why it's head and shoulders over Xbox One. And I do think that yes, a game can be a classic without having replayability. Um, as funny as I would say this, I feel as if Last of Us One was a game that was considered a classic for me. And I have not
Okay.
replayed it yet, but I will say I do want to replay it. I don't necessarily want to buy that new PS5 upgrade for it. I'm very happy with just replaying the remastered PS4 version another time.
Uh,
But the first game to me, I thought was a masterpiece. I didn't think it needed a
okay.
sequel. I think a lot of people do think now it probably didn't, but they're accepting of it because the gameplay of the sequel was still good. But that first one would be the example of a game for me that would be considered a masterpiece without having to replay it. A lot of people still did go back and replay it, the grounded mode, all of that, but um, that does follow the formula of the high production PlayStation game, and yeah,
Yeah.
those there's a lot of them there that are masterpiece. There's a few duds here and there, but there's a lot of them that are. So yeah, I would say that's definitely a yes for that question.
All right.
Good.
It's something else that I think I can also say is a masterpiece for me.
Yeah.
I know it's a weird one, but like I feel like South Park, The Fractured But Whole,
Jesus Christ.
to me is
Go
a
ahead,
top
explain.
notch
He's a
game.
masterpiece.
Like if it's like Yeah, so I feel like if you are a South Park
Okay.
fan, right, or you're just like crude humor,
Okay.
and you like RPGs, it
Okay.
is like to me perfectly done. And it's like this is a game they easily could have just sold off of the name alone, but they put in the effort to make the game fun. And like the first one, Stick of Truth, was really good as well. And it's great that for the sequel they were able to improve on it even more. And to me, it was a perfect game. It actually, that's the game that changed my opinion on a lot of turn-based games.
Okay.
Uh, was that, and I feel like it's a masterpiece. But also, at the end of the game, you do unlock like all of the powers, so there isn't really a reason to go back through the story and replay it with like a new set of powers because you get to try out all the powers by the time you get to the end freely. Um, but that to me that doesn't remove from it being one of the best games.
That's interesting. I had to figure out if I was to clip this. I had to figure out how would I clip it. Be like, oh, the fractured butthole is a masterpiece, and that like that's the title, and then everybody look at it like what? Like you got to report this. What is he talking about?
Yeah, it is. But for people who've also played, to me, another game that's a masterpiece, L.A. Noir,
Okay.
L.A. Noir, and Arkham City, Batman Arkham City are both to me masterpieces. I feel like for L.A. Noir, like they're a lot of the game is the reveal of
Okay.
stuff. So once you know the reveal and once you know where their story is going, there really isn't a reason to like replay it unless you just want to revisit the story again.
Right.
Um, but to me, that is one of the best games also. So yeah, I don't think it needs replayability, hands down, to be considered a classic.
Yeah. Even though a lot of people speed run them, there's a lot of horror games that's like that. I think that initial experience did it for them. You know. Um,
Yeah,
and then I guess to throw it in there with the horror, that movie The Exorcist, that did it for a lot of people. Like way back in the 70s, I guess. I know it was a whole thing where people didn't want to see that again, and they were having to get stretchered out of the theater and all that stuff. So hey,
but that makes a great point that like there's certain movies to me that are like, all right, I'm sure for several other people they're fantastic, but it's you don't want to watch it again. And
yeah,
then it's not even like it's bad, but like even for like horror movies, right? Especially horror movies that aren't like psychological, right? Like Saw.
yeah,
Getting past all of the torture stuff, it's a very psychological film.
right,
Right?
right,
Like understanding the twisted turns and things like that. But any like once you've seen the first Saw movie, the big reveal at the end, you know that's happening. Like
right,
it's
right.
just and there's any horror movie that relies on jump scares, like third time watching it is like I know every jump scare where it's gonna happen. That doesn't remove from it being a fantastic 10 out of 10 movie.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
no reason to see it again.
Plus, don't they always say the first impression is I forget how you say it, but you know what I mean. The first impression is blah blah
Oh
blah.
yeah,
So
first impression is key. I don't something
yeah,
like that.
something about it's always
Oh
the first one though. But yeah, that's when the impact is
and I feel
real.
like if
So
yeah, and if you love a game enough, you'll just go back and replay it just to replay it.
yeah, because
Like
I
just
still want to
you just
replay
replay it.
Last of Us One, but I thought it was a masterpiece. So yeah, so the answer is yes, I guess across the board. Where I am going to clip this, I want to see who agrees. Is that a masterpiece? Somebody please tell me. Other than that, real quick, did you want to talk about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 being a no go?
Yeah. So unfortunately, anyone who was looking forward to them remastering 3 and 4, like they did 1 and 2, Tony Hawk has confirmed that that's probably not about to happen. So it was made by Vicarious. Is that their
Okay.
name? Vicarious Visions.
Yeah,
The
Vicarious Missions.
They redid Crash as well. Uh yeah, Vicarious Visions. They
I said
they
missions.
were
My
the ones
bad.
in charge of the remaster, and they got absorbed by Blizzard to pretty much work on shooters. And because of that, there's not going to be a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 4 remaster. Now, I played the 1 and 2 remaster, and
Okay.
I remember playing them when I was a kid, and they are fantastic. And I would have to go back and like look at them, but from what I remember as a kid, 3 was to be one of the best ones. It was 3 and Underground. And I can't remember whether it was 3 or 2. And I'm like playing through 2, and I'm like, yeah, this is great, but I really need to play through 3 again because I can't remember which is the one that I liked more. And I used to play all the Tony Hawk games as a kid. So I was really looking forward to having a 3-4 remaster, but nope, not gonna happen.
I remember Underground being the wave at one point. Like, I'm surprised that they
Yeah,
closing the door on Underground. Because I do remember
that's
Underground
what I
being a big
was.
deal.
I was hoping that if they did Pro Skater 3 and 4, and then that one also did well, because 1 and 2 did well, and been getting picked up. I was really hoping Underground would get picked up. That was the one that it was a good story. Had that like dude in there that you just hated for like betraying you, and it looked great. It was just it's not gonna happen unless another studio picks it up.
Yeah, I guess that's unfortunate. For anybody else, I guess you could check out the Skate series if you wanted more skate games, I
Yeah,
guess. And then they have
and
those.
Ollie Ollie World.
Oh yeah, Ali Ali World. And then I think if you want to take it to snowboarding, they still have. It was a new game called Shredders, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Look up that Shredders for anybody. So, um, and then if you just want to cartoonize it a little bit, there is still Sonic. I don't know if that really counts. That might be a stretch. I might be stretching it with that, but
Yeah, it'd
he
have to
be
be
on some
all
rails.
rails.
Yeah, he'll be on rails. It look like that's what he be doing. But I think I wouldn't close the door on Tony Hawk. I think there's gonna be more like that. You might not get Tony Hawk's name on it, but you will probably
Okay.
still get more skateboarding games in the future. I don't believe that's gonna just go away. So I would keep I would be optimistic about that.
All right.
Other than that,
Got my hopes up.
Call of Duty Warzone. Let's talk about Call of Duty and they're cheating, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's still cheating. Nobody can be honest anymore. What's up? What's up with the world
Yep.
being not honest? We can't have an honest world no
I don't
more.
know, man.
Is
I've
it
been
that
watching
serious?
clips. Yeah, I've been watching compilations of like streamers getting caught cheating in a lot of these shooters, right? And you got your wall hacks and your auto aims and
Yeah,
all of those, and just like you can clearly see it on the screen. Just they're just getting caught. It's like it's crazy because like they're getting banned from these games, and I want to say I
yeah,
believe it's Apex that like when they ban you on PC, they don't ban your username, they ban your like CPU name. So if you try to make a new account,
oh my god.
it'll just be like, nah, this like, or
You gotta
maybe
make a
IP
whole
address,
new
but they're like,
computer.
nah,
You
you
gotta
can't.
make
You need a
it.
whole new computer.
You gotta get a
Yep.
pre-built.
So
And
it's
then as
like,
soon as you get it, they ban you there, and it's like, dang, I can't just keep doing this. Like, nah.
yep, and it's like that means like, is it worth it? Like to cheat just to like
Is
get banned
is
forever,
and
like on a game?
I need to understand this because I'm not that into playing the shooters online with a bunch of randos. So like, is it really just to win the game, or is this because
Yeah.
of like, it's just to win? It's not so much the tournaments. People ain't betting. Like I don't. It's
Nope, because the tournaments you get caught way faster because people like so to cheat, especially when they're streaming, right?
yeah.
They are able to set up because you have like two monitors and everything. It's like on the main monitor you're looking at, it'll show you, for example, the wall hack. So like you'll see the red boxes to show you where everybody is on the screen. But
Okay.
then on the streaming, it only shows the like gameplay without the wall hacks in it. So like unless you hit a wrong button or show the wrong screen, the people watching you, unless you're really obvious, won't know. But if you're at a tournament, people are walking back and forth. So it's not even like you can really do these in tournament unless everything's from home, and they're not going to do that for a lot of prize money. So it's really just to look like you're the best player and get the most points.
I gotta treat them just
But it's
like
like
how
I've watched it where
I gotta go there with the Souls community. I just gotta say, you know what? Just get good. Like, just
yeah,
get good.
yeah. It's
Just get
so
good. Yeah.
where what auto aiming is kind of for, to a
Yeah.
degree, is mainly when a game has crossplay between console and PC. So console people can keep up with PC. Where it's like if you hit the aim button, the computer will or like the PC or the console will kind of like go towards the person a little bit
Mm-hmm.
faster. And it's to make up for the fact that when you're on PC, if you're good with mouse and keyboard, you just move your mouse and boom, you're aiming. So it's like a way to keep up with PC players, because without it, there's no way, like, unless the PC person just isn't good. Like if I'm playing it on PC, your PC's gonna dominate, right?
Yeah.
Especially if they're good with it. So they find a way to auto aim, so then it's just like the PC will automatically just start going to the closest person. And if you combine that with wall hacks, as the person gets close to you behind the wall, the thing will just aim directly at them, so that you're able to shoot the moment they become open. Like you just know that they're there, and that's how they get caught. By people who are eagle-eyed, where it's like how you were able to shoot that sniper. Like you just stared at a wall and nobody was there. At the moment somebody walked out, you shot them, and everything's like you knew that they were there. But yeah, so Warzone is they've been trying to find ways to ban cheaters, and the cheaters just get new stuff and then join back in. So what they're doing now is they created a bullet shield, and what will end up happening is if, let's say, me and you were playing online and we're on opposing teams, and then you get caught using cheating software, then my character along with my team will all get like a bullet shield where if you're shooting us, you get no critical hits and your guns barely do any damage. Like they don't do anything. And you're out in the open shooting, so you think you're registering hits, and the person's just not going down.
So they
And
just
then my
basically
team will be able to just take you out. So it renders you useless, essentially.
Yeah,
like
they
your
make
guns just don't do anything.
pointless. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it allows the developers, while your gun's not doing any damage and they can see that, they're able to like take their time rather than just immediately kicking you. They can like take their time to figure out what software you're using.
Oh my gosh. I just always felt like he was doing too much. I'm like, just play. Just play. It's okay. Because if you stream, you're going to always get caught immediately by everybody. And so you're not going to have the respect. You're not going to have the respect. You're not going to have the fame. Everybody else going to make videos.
I had considered streaming those just because I knew I'd be really, really bad at them. And that'd be the whole stream, is how bad I am. And just take the criticism in the chat because of just how bad. Like, I know I'm not good at them. And then it's just to hear that, it's like, if I even want to try and get good, I also got to deal with cheaters. Like, they're already better than me at this. And then all of a sudden, they're also cheating. And it's like, well, then I really don't want to. Like, I'll stick to my single player stuff.
Yeah. I just don't see why it's such a... Like, if you're in tournaments and all eyes are on you, so you're going to get caught anyway. Like, just to get up one day and randomly play, like you literally could just get good. Just get good. Like, that's the only thing I could think of to say for anybody who just cheats on it. Because it's like, what's the point of playing? It's not even going... Is it really going to be fun? I mean, unless you stream sniping people, I guess, and you're just trying to be... an a-hole about it. Like I can see that. Like, because I've seen those rage compilations of people sniping people and they were like mad.
Yeah.
Like those things look funny when you put them together. Too. That's another thing. When you put them together and it's meant to be funny, that's one thing. But like overall, it's like, dude, just play the game like a regular person. Like just like
and it's crazy because like it's not just streamers that are like cheating, but it's like they're the ones that are like showing that they get caught, where it's like they hit a button and you see the red boxes, or somebody, they called him out, was like, yo, we think you're cheating. He's like, no, I'm not. And they're like, pull up your task manager, and he's like, how do I do that? And they're like, control and delete. He pressed it, and then the cheating software, just like the moment he pressed control and delete, it just popped up behind the taskmaster or task manager, and everyone's like, boom, it's right there. Like, you're cheating. Like, they get caught all this stuff, but it's like there's so many people who are not streaming that are also just cheating.
Yeah, I don't know. It ain't that serious for me. It's just a game. It's just a game.
Yep.
You can only do so much with it, and then you got to
There's
keep.
actually some that I saw.
Yeah.
People made fake cheating software. It's like some people will actually go out and buy cheating software. Like they're not all just free. Some of them buy the stuff. And what some like hackers did is they made a fake one where people will go through, purchase it, and then it puts their information out there.
Oh wow.
And I don't know if it was like
That's
credit card information. I think it was like gaming information, like one of those.
okay.
Maybe it was credit card information, which is like, it's a little bit too far, but at the same time, it's like, so you spent money
Evil versus evil.
for this software to then just like throw your information out there and not let you cheat.
Yeah, that's crazy. I ain't got time. If you shoot me and I'm not that good, I'll just have to deal with it, and then I'll just get better, like a normal person. But speaking of just throwing your money out there, I don't know if you're ready for this one. You think you're ready for this one, man? Are you really ready for this one? Because
Probably not. I'll try.
All right. I don't even know if this can get clipped, because this might not be that good of a. This might get us in trouble, but we might not clip this one. But Succubus the game. It's called an erotic action horror game.
I'm going back. I'm not ready.
You're not ready. You ain't ready for this.
No.
Somebody, I don't know. This is somebody's dream game out there. Succubus the game. Yes, it's called Succubus. Let your imagination go wild. It looked like
you don't even have to let your imagination go wild. It's an easy Google search, and you can even do a safe for work Google search because it's a mythical creature.
Don't do that. You're gonna get fired. You don't get fired. You search this at work. Don't search
creature. Matter of fact, here you go. If you want to know what a succubus is, which you need to do it safe for work, look up the TV show Lost Girl and just read the premise.
Oh my gosh.
It was a safe for work TV show. It was one of the shows where they kept making things about like fantasy creatures, and technically that's where her character is a succubus. But like, of course, it was like a sci-fi show, so it's not like they did horrible, not safe for work stuff. So if you really don't know what it is, look up Lost Girl and read the premise, and don't click on any extra links.
I don't even want to. I really hope I don't get in trouble for this. I gotta just say it. I gotta just say, all I saw was demon titties. This is all I saw. I just saw demon titties. It was demons with titties. Yeah. That's all I saw. That's all I saw. I looked at it. It didn't have that much views on it anyway. I looked at it. I kind of laughed. I was like, what is the point of this? Why do you need this? Who needs this? Like you for anybody who needs this, like you literally, first of all, the people who's gonna play this, you already disrespected Resident Evil 3 when y'all changed her clothes, Jill Valentine. You turned around and did the same thing with Resident Evil 8. You know what I'm saying? And did her outfits. Plenty other games in between. 5. Yeah, like what? Like so. Like, do you really need this? You could. It's only gonna make you go look at the real thing. Just go look at the real thing. Like, you don't need this guy. This game looked so goofy to me. It was just like, why does this exist? It only exists for one reason. You're only gonna be able to play the game with one hand. Let's be clear here. Like, you don't need it. It's not needed. Isn't that what Twitch is for at this point? Like, just go.
If you made the game, if you want to buy this game, you need to go outside and go for a walk. That's how it's go for a walk.
The developer made this game with one hand. They made it with one hand because the other hand was busy.
So, like, and I'm not even going to get into it, but as a person who's like into like fantasy lore stuff and like, looking at like Greek mythology and all the other stuff, the game don't make sense. And you're right. It is solely made as just a one-handed game, and just go walk outside. Go, as they say, touch grass. Like, do something. Take a break. Like, you just, what? Why does this exist?
Now, do you like action games? Do you like horror games? Well, action horror games is cool too. But you know what? We got an erotic action horror game. Do you like erotic stuff? Do you like action stuff? You got horror stuff? We covering all bases here. with the game called Succubus. Yes, it was a game
You know what?
they showed it this
Ugh.
week, and it just kind of got thrown out there. I forgot. I was on one of these sites that talk gaming news just to look for just extra stuff, anything extra I can probably add, and they showed it. I'm looking like I thought I had like some sort of ad blocker on where I ain't supposed to see this kind of stuff. And then I had to look at the fine print. I looked at the fine print. I'm like, this is a game. I'm like, what?
Oh,
And that's what I saw. I'm like, Succubus the
it looked like
game.
a
What?
pop up.
Nah, it looked like one of them things. It looked like I'm like, come on, bro. Like for the people, because anybody who can't get none, right? When it come down to this, you still gonna just go to the real thing anyway. There is no need for this. You gonna go look at the real thing, whether it's like the videos, or if you gonna go to the hot tub people on Twitch. You gonna go look at the people who sucking on the ear machine and stuff, right? Like you gonna go look at them anyway, because that's the real thing, and this is like CGI or whatever. I don't even know. I honestly did not know what the game was about after seeing the trailer. And I don't even think you were supposed to know. You're not supposed to know.
Nope.
No, it don't even matter what it's about. It don't matter what it's about. I just wrote it was a erotic action horror game. That's all you need to know. AKA is beat off material. That's what it is. And I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that. I don't care. Cause you people need to do better. I'm gonna be nice.
I'd have more respect when you said this, like it's people who can't get none. I'd have more respect if you paid to get some than if you paid for this. Like
gosh.
it's because you're buying this game. It's just come on.
It's demons versus
don't
diseases.
just
Make your choice. You want a demon or a disease?
so like earlier I had said in this podcast that I don't like, I like it when they go out and experiment with games.
Yeah.
This makes me take that back. Like that's too far. Don't experiment this far. That this is what we're coming out with.
This is
Not every idea is a great idea.
yeah. I don't even know if it's considered a meme game, if that exists, because I know there's like plenty of those type of things where it's just a quick laugh that's on Steam. They come out with so many of them, these fan made games. This almost looked like it wasn't necessarily completely fan made like that. I don't know all the details, but it's just very wasted resources. I could only imagine, like, if you this better been like somebody's work at home project. Like, can you imagine you had to go in and like go to work and present this to somebody? I need funding, and like, no. Who are you presenting this to? Like the Playboy people? Like, who are you? Like, no.
This is one of this is one of the studios that Blizzard has. It's like, this is the game we need you to work on. Well, everybody else can work on the Call of Duty. You need to work on this. I'll quit. Like,
all I know is it was cringe. It was very cringe, and I was done with it. If you play this, seek help. All right. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. We do got a couple other things. I'm gonna let Succubus go. I don't want to talk about Succubus no more. I might not ever see it again. I just thought maybe we could probably say something quick. This might be a bigger topic. I don't know, but From Software having multiple games in development, one game that is in its final stages. So,
yes. So, yep. As you mentioned, Miyazaki said that they were working on multiple things. Elden Ring is going to get some more content. And then he did say that a game is in the final stage. But, they're, of course, very secretive about what.
Right.
So my question to you is there something in particular that you hope or think it might be?
I mean, with the Souls genre, I think they've done so much of, they've done everything. It seemed like they've done everything that they can do with it, because if you look at the hardcore Elden Ring players, I remember hearing a lot of people saying it was a lot of repeat of what they've played in like Dark Souls 3. Like, this is technically Dark Souls 4.
Okay.
But Elden Ring was the first game for a lot of people as far as the Souls games, right? Um,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else you can add to it at this point. The only thing I could say is maybe you can borrow some Callisto Protocol things where when you're hacking and slashing at these monsters, like you can see damage progression on them. Like now they're having like a limb or something falling off of them and they leaving blood trails all over the place as they're trying to hit you and stuff and you're moving around. And then maybe on your armor and stuff you see some battle damage on you. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
some more detail in it that way, because with Elden Ring, I've seen a lot of people play the game and stuff. It does look like it's spot on with Dark Souls 3, with the lighting being different and more of a graphical update when it's like panning out because of how beautiful the world looks.
Yeah.
But the way the enemies move, the way you attack them and stuff, it's still much of the same. But it exploded. It didn't necessarily, like, for a lot of people, it's not like, oh, it's another Souls game. You had like 4 or 5 of these. Like it's crazy because there was like the Far Cry series where when they came out with Far Cry 6 got ridiculed immediately. Like they did not get away with that. People was like, I feel like I
Uh.
played this game so many times, right? But
Yep.
Elden Ring comes out, it's like you have this lineage of games that were Souls games. Bloodborne is another one that I didn't mention. And it's
Uh
like
huh.
Elden Ring comes out and you're doing some of the same stuff. It's just you're now in an open world. If something's too hard, you can go away and come back. That was enough. The open world, being able to leave a situation to go into another area and then come back when you think you're ready,
Yeah.
was enough of a change that basically made it was considered a masterpiece so far for a lot of people. I will say, 6 months into the year, it does not really have an opponent. It is the game of the year so far, for at least for the first half. But for going forward, if the next game is in its final stages, I had a video that I didn't release yet that I pretty much was saying I'm a little worried about that because it makes me think that you might just get more of the same and they might not have added things like the battle damage, the blood or gore, or more detail like that in the environment.
Okay.
As a Souls game, I think the only thing it does need at this point is more detail, more like blood dripping, kind of gory looking look. That's the only thing I think it needs.
Okay.
Just more detail. That's all I can say for it. But I am a fan of Souls games. I've played the copycats. Right, I've still got Mortal Shell as the last copycat to play. You and me both played Remnant from the Ashes. I played Cold Vein. So those are
Yep.
the copycats to get you ready for it. And then you have Bloodborne. A lot of people, like when people call Souls games, like when they say this is a Souls like game, some people say this is a Souls born game, right? Because
Yeah.
Bloodborne was such a big thing, like that it gets its own name in there. Like you don't even say this is a Souls game. It's like this is a born game sometimes, like a Souls
Yeah.
born game. So they still have some big heavy hitters. So
Yep. Which I would say is why. So my prediction, I think it's another heavy hitter returning,
yeah.
and of course, it's both my guess and my hope that it's Armored Core. I think that's what they were working because I feel like
Might be
if it
one
was
of them.
like a Sekiro or uh
I think they're doing all of them.
Bloodborne sequel.
Unless they're doing something
You said
brand
what?
new. I was going to say, I think they're doing all of them because unless they're doing something brand new, what the report was that they had multiple games and then one of them was in its final
Yeah.
stage. So,
So I was
like,
trying to guess which one's in the final stages.
yeah,
Uh,
like multiple don't
like
sound
what
like
sounds like it's
two.
gonna
It
be.
sounds like it's more than two.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I do think it's gonna be like a Sekiro sequel, a Bloodborne sequel, Armored Core at some point. maybe something new, things like that. But I'm trying to. So my guess for the one that's like in final stages,
Mm-hmm.
um, I do feel like it might be Armored Core, and only because. So what I'm hoping is that I feel like I don't know how different Bloodborne can vastly be from Elden Ring, and how different Sekiro could vastly be from Elden Ring. So if it's like, because like you said, like if it's not going to be that much different, then it might be one of those two. However, if they're trying to go with something that isn't like the one that just released, Armored Core might be the next best thing.
The only other
Because
thing I
it's
could
giant
see,
mechs.
I I'm sorry, I was just gonna say the only other thing I could see is Elden Ring has now become as big of a success as Bloodborne and Dark Souls as a trilogy, or Dark Souls 3, right? I
Um,
can only imagine that somebody wrote down on a sheet of paper Elden Ring 2. I can only
yeah.
imagine that they
However, I
probably did
don't
that.
think the reason why I don't think that one is the one that's in the final stages
Yeah, I doubt it's
is
final.
because they just announced they're releasing more for Elden Ring 1. So it wouldn't make
Yeah.
sense to be like, we're releasing more DLC for Elden Ring 1, and within 2 months, get ready for Elden Ring 2, because then that should have just been content for Elden Ring 2. Right? So that's where I don't think it might be like that, but probably is something that they're going to work on. I just
Right.
don't think it's going to be the one that's in final stages.
Okay. Yeah, I think
But
the
I
only
am
other
I am hoping for Armored Core.
I think the only other thing that if they were to try to improve on the Souls game, outside of the extra detail of damage with the blood and guts, the only thing I can see is just more cutscenes that come off a little bit more cinematic. You know how PlayStation has those games where
Yeah.
they know how to like transition back out to where it's like right behind you again, like the camera, and then you get ready to walk or something again. Like if they do a
Yeah.
cutscenes where it transitions instead of kind of just like fade into a cutscene, that might make things look a little bit more polished in a way, in a cinematic way, but more of a story that is like in your face, like the Last of Us 2 had a story that people hated, right? Because of the Joel situation. But if you took that and you changed everybody's name and you did that in Elden Ring and nobody knew who Joel was and it was just a dude, it would have been kind of crazy, but it would have been a little bit more impactful of a story going like in the beginning. Where in Elden Ring, you kind of just
Yeah.
you create your character, and then you go outside, you see the dude with the flowers and stuff, you fight the Sentinel, and that's pretty much the Sentinel, and then that's it. You just kind of explore until you get to some of the bigger bosses. But if they make it like a story, there's a set villain, there's like set things going on, like that might improve it. I would say
Okay.
like just more cinematic cuts of a story. I guess that's all I can say. Not
So
just for
now,
the
well,
boss
I
fights.
think from some
Hmm.
of the heavy Dark Soul players, I've heard um that that's probably one of the things that I usually appreciate about Dark Soul
Yeah,
games is like you kind of figure the story out as you go through reading things, and it's not like a
yeah,
set
yeah,
story. So it might be something interesting for them to try, like something that's like a set story that's also like under like Dark Souls esque gameplay.
yeah.
Uh It'll be something interesting for sure. I'm down for always story stuff, so I'm never gonna say nah. Too much story. Uh,
The main thing for me is
but
just
yeah,
the
I
battle damage. I definitely want the battle damage and the more gory
yeah.
looking.
Callisto Protocol is
Yeah,
got you too hyped for seeing it. Yeah.
yeah. It's just it
Uh,
made more sense when you saw it because everybody else, even in the gameplay we're watching right now, you don't really see
mm.
damage. You just
Shout
kind
out
of
to an old game that used to do it. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Movie was horrible. Game was fantastic, and that
shout
was a
out to
game where
X
you
Men.
see the damage. Have you ever played it?
I played
The
so I played the PC version for a split second to test it. I do
Okay.
plan on going back to it. I want So the version I had was the regular one. I want the I think it's called uncaged version. I think it's something
Okay.
like that. I'm trying to get that version, and then I'll play that version.
Okay.
But I haven't
Well, I'll
really
let you
gotten around
know.
to it. But yeah.
One of the things that was it was hyped up for everybody was the fact that I played it. I played the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, you when you're getting like shot at and everything, you see like the blood and like the cuts and the bullet holes and things like that.
Right.
And once you stop getting hit, they slowly start healing like Wolverine. So it's not just like it just like disappears. You can see like the wounds like not like extra deals PlayStation 3, but you see like slowly there everything's closing back up and everything instead of just like a fade. So it really makes you feel like Wolverine. Which hopefully that Logan game that's coming out, that's the next superhero game that's coming out
Mm-hmm.
from Square Enix, I believe.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No. 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 No.
yeah,
No. No.
hopefully
It's not Square Enix. It's Insomniac. It's people at Spider Man.
Insomniac. Sorry, yes,
Yeah.
Insomniac.
Yeah.
Hopefully that does it too, where you can see the like wounds healing and everything on like how Wolverine did.
I
Uh,
wonder how they were
ooh,
gonna
that game.
present that because it looked like the industry is trying to like minimize at least with God of War especially like they try to minimize more of the gory ish stuff and the games will still be rated M but it's a tone down
Uh,
a little bit.
yeah,
So I
they're trying to tease for
wonder,
teen things.
yeah, I'm
Uh,
wondering that you know what that reminds me of now. I just thought
hopefully they
about it. The
don't.
Mortal Kombat movie. It was like the most PG-13 rated R movie. They tried their hardest to make it
Yes.
PG-13. It was just like, come
Yes.
on, man. Like, show me the gruesomeness. That's what this is for. That's what I'm trying to see.
Yeah. And the X Men Origins game, like the lunge attack was my favorite thing. And you lunge at him and you could see your claws go and everything. Like that game, it felt
Yeah,
great.
it's crazy. Yeah. I think real quick. So I don't have a game to recommend, but I have here that you want to recommend. The Order 1886.
Yeah. So I know this game gets a lot of bad press. I recently just went back and like finally really played through the whole thing.
Okay.
And I think if you were part of the initial hype for the game, then yeah, you would be disappointed because it did sound like this very like you're in steampunk London fighting werewolves, and that's not really what the game was.
Okay.
Um, but after hearing like how much bad press it got, I do feel like it's better than that. So at a cheaper price, like it is a game that you can really, it's gonna take about 7-8 hours to beat, right? 6 if you're like phenomenal, or if you're playing on easy, but like 7 to 8 hours
Okay.
to get through. And it's a very story driven game, but it's a really like intriguing story. So like there's werewolves, and you're in steampunk London, and you were part of the Knights of the Round Table, who are like have a serum that makes them immortal, and or at least lets them live longer. And you're just going through that, and then you have to deal with a bunch of other stuff. Like that part is like very quickly like rushed through within like the first like 5-10 minutes of the game, so
Shout
it's
out to
very
the
easy to
Queen of
miss
England.
like that part of
Go
the
ahead.
premise. Huh?
I was saying shout out to the
You said
Queen of
what?
England because you said a serum that
Yeah,
make you live longer. That's exactly what I thought of.
yeah.
Shout out to
That's
her.
exactly what she got. But yeah. So again, you go through and like the guns, they feel different. Like each one, like there's certain guns where it's like I hate this thing, and then there's like the sniper is like fantastic, and then they have some steampunk guns too. Like there was some that shoot electricity and things like that. Because it's supposed to be like the start of like Tesla, really getting into his stuff. So it's like, and it's a very
I need
nice
a Tesla.
premise of a game. There are too many cutscenes. So one of my complaints for the game
Too
is like
many.
out of the like 14 chapters, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the chapters are kind of short. Uh, and it's really chapters like you can think of chapters like this is the episode of the TV series, really.
Okay. Okay.
Um, like straight up chapter 6 is action, all action, and then chapter 7 is an entire cutscene. And like you don't do anything. It's a full cutscene, and that's chapter 7. And then chapter 8, it starts as a cutscene, and then you go up to a table, and then you can inspect an item. And all it is look at the front, look at the back, and you're just inspecting it. And it's part of the cutscene, but you get to move around. And then the moment you put it down, it goes back to cutscene, and then that's chapter 8. So that part was bad, but the gameplay parts that you're actually playing through are good. And I think if you could like get it for free or get it under $10 and everything, it is worth the playthrough. And it is a game that I feel like would have benefited heavy from a sequel. It did end in a sort of a sequel baity kind of way, and unfortunately we didn't get the sequel. But if there was a sequel for it, that would be the one that would go all in on the like fight werewolves.
It hooked some people too, because I remember
like
people calling for a sequel, people hoping at some of the PlayStation shows. I gotta look at my.
It does feel like. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was sorry. I was just gonna say I gotta look at my backlog catalog because I don't even know if I own this, but I remember just like there was this one moment where I scooped so many games when it was cheap. And this one seems like one of them. Either that or it was a PlayStation Plus game. I gotta just look and see if I already own it.
So,
but yeah,
it is one that. So I picked it up when it was cheap, but I picked it up from GameStop. Okay. It was like a random Black Friday. I was there, and the game was like on sale for $5. And I was like, you know what? Sure. And I went ahead and got it.
That's how I got Anthem. Yeah.
Okay.
My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, so and it's like it was good. It's a game that benefit like it was showing off what like the graphics of the PS4, really. And they really did like story driven. It feels like it's you're playing a movie. Like to be real, you're playing a movie. And it's like if you like, especially if you like the Detroit Become Human or Until Dawn, games like that, you'll probably like this. Like there are some quick time events for the boss fights, and then the rest of it is gunplay. But yeah, if you like very heavily story driven stuff, good game.
That's what's up. I will be giving it a second look, and yeah, I didn't have a recommendation. I think this is a good one though. I think this is this game has a hardcore fan base that's like really it's there. They don't talk about it as often, but they're not letting the idea of a sequel go. I think people still want one, and who knows, man? Never say never. You might get one day.
Hopefully.
Other than that, I think we are almost done. When I look through everything, I think we've hit everything. So real quick, I do also have something here about Spider-Man Lotus, and we can talk about that real quick.
Yeah, so there was a fan movie, and I say was because with all the controversy, maybe it's not coming back out. But there was a fan movie that was getting hyped up called Spider-Man Lotus, completely like fan made free, like going to be probably on YouTube. Project.
Some of those were good,
but it got
YouTube.
A lot of fans.
I've watched a few, but yeah, go ahead.
And I think it takes off from the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Right? So like when Gwen died and all of that, it's supposed to be with like Peter coming to terms with that. So it was trying to give like a third for the Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Well, it just got revealed. So like kid who's basically like like the villain from The Incredibles. This kid was a big fan of the director and everything because they met at like some Comic-Con and everything, and they had the idea for Spider-Man. They both loved Spider-Man, and it was cool. And the kid, I guess, somehow thought he would be like a part of the movie, and the director was like, nah. So the kid went on his like little revenge spree and was like revealing things about the cast. And then he finally admitted that it was him that like revealed everything. But it got revealed that like the actor that they casted for Spider-Man had old racist comments, right? And like all of that stuff. And he apologized. And of course, some people were like, nah, too late. But he apologized. Yeah. The director tried to play like crowd control and apologize. And then the director kind of put it in a nice way where he even said that like these were from like the years ago where it's like somebody being a stupid 17-year-old sort of. Um, but even the director said on a movie about redemption and fixing mistakes of your past, it would be weird to just like fire the actor for trying to redeem his past. So he tried to like play it off to really hype up the movie. And then people were like, oh, you also have racist comments. And showed those. And then he had to make a statement about himself and apologize as well. And was like, and then we're done with it. And he sent out his apology. And then everybody was like, okay, that's cool. But what about your actor for Green Goblin? Because he also has some comments. And these were super recent. And it showed those. So it's just like all of this like embroiled comments.
So everybody just bad.
I think though.
Everybody is just bad.
So
Everybody.
The woman who got casted as like Mary Jane, she was just like, all right, I did this movie, I filled all my stuff and everything, so I'm not going to be removed from the movie, but I'm now distancing myself like after the fact from the directors and everything. Like, I don't stand with what they did, blah, blah, blah. And I think there's an actor that maybe is playing Miles Morales in the movie or something like that. Like, when he initially was like, yo, I can tell you now, like, the dude's not racist. He might have been stupid in the past. Hi, Cat. He might have been stupid in the past, but he's not racist or anything like that. And then he's gone quiet. So, yeah, there's just so much controversy in this movie, all destroyed by a kid who felt slighted and is trying to be the villain from Incredibles.
That's how it always happens, man. Every time somebody get mad about any little thing, I was like, all right, let's go try to see if we can find some dirt on you to use that against you, destroy everything else because I'm upset. Is this movie is this fan film even on YouTube? Is there any way for us to see it?
So they're still finishing it.
So they were trying to.
It looks like they're still planning on releasing it.
So they go. See, that's the thing. Like, if we clip this, they're gonna see it. It's like, I don't know, like, I don't know how many people is talking about it.
Well, I'm sure other people are talking about it. I just feel bad because this was the first I heard of it.
Yeah.
But it turns out a lot of people were like really following the movie. But I just saw Spider-Man Lotus, and I was like, what's this? And I clicked on it, and then I just see like comment, bad, bad. And I went, what's happening? And when they said like Spider-Man actor did this, of course I'm thinking Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, or Toby, and I'm like, what'd they say? So I like looked through, and then I realized, no, it was a fan film, and then I started looking deeper into it, and like it had its loyal fan base that was like right away there for when it was first announced, and then it's just now all of this stuff is coming out.
Now,
so
would it be
still probably looks like it's still going to be released.
Okay.
But
I was just going to ask, would it be in a fan film? Like, did you see any, like, was there a trailer or something to let us know they got some good quality, or is this almost vlog style? Like,
so it did have a trailer, I believe. Right. I did not watch the trailer yet.
Okay. We could watch it after, maybe.
But it did look like it has some good like quality to it. Like you can tell, relatively that it's fan made. But it looks like they put in some work. Like they got some funding behind it and are actually doing some stuff with it.
Okay. Well, you know what, man? There was a fan film. I would just want to say real quick, there for anybody who hadn't seen it, like, there was this fan film that was done I can't say way back in the day, but it was a Star Wars one that was almost like really, you would have thought that it was like actually canon, how good it looked. Like their production was awesome. And it was like a fan film for like, I think it was Darth Maul. Like, isn't that his name? Darth Maul? Like, he had it was a fan film for him. I wish I knew what it was. I'm about to try to look it up while we're talking. It was a fan film that was centered around him, like, I guess before, like way before he died. Okay, so I think I found it. 17 minutes long, 17 minutes 49 seconds on YouTube. Darth Maul Apprentice, a Star Wars fan film. It looks like it's like 6 years old. It's got about 31 million views. This thing was like, that was what it was supposed to look like. When you talk about a fan film, I remember seeing that so long ago. But like, that was on par with like what Star Wars production is with with like Star Wars Episode 1, 2, and 3. You know, like it
Huh?
wasn't like
That's what's up.
old. Like for anybody, that's a fan film to definitely see. As far as this one though, the Spider-Man one, go ahead and release that. Don't worry about it, man. Anybody trying to, because we don't really like it's everybody else's personal business. If they saying all this stuff, we could be over and done with them afterwards. We was there for Spider-Man. We fans of
Yeah,
Spider-Man. You know,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of whoever's in whatever they said. I just want to see Spider-Man.
Also,
I want to see
keep in
more
mind,
Spider-Man.
this is a fan film with copyrighted material, so it's not like they're making money from it anyways.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're not gonna make no money. They might be, arguably wasting their time, but if you are a superhero fanatic, I mean, you get Spider-Man in so many different ways anyway, but here's another one
Uh-huh.
you could still just watch it, I guess, and have fun and just like the other one, the Star Wars one that I just mentioned, like nobody's gonna know who those actors are. We don't know who they are, what they say. I'm pretty sure if I was to Google something, somebody says some dirt at some point. It's like I'm not worried about that. I was trying to see Star Wars. So just
Right.
focus on Spider-Man. I think you'll be all right. I think you'll be all right. So it is what it is with that one.
I will say that
Yeah.
there's a few Power Ranger fan films that are out
Yes.
that are actually pretty good. Like there's Crimson Vision Studios is
Okay.
one that they do a bunch. Like they like do like an episode here and there of each one, and then eventually bring more. There's another one that I'm trying to remember the name of, but like it's the more popular one. They got like 5 episodes out now, where it's like basically Lord Draken, and it's like an alternate Earth of Rangers that he's going to try and take out.
Hmm.
That's been pretty good. For the Batman fans, there's a Nightwing fan film called Grayson,
Okay.
Earth One, I believe. That was really good. And then this one I haven't seen yet. It's in my like watch later, but I've heard nothing but great things about. It's like Mystery Incorporated. It's like Scooby Doo live action, but like serious. It's like a serious version of it.
Man, shout out to
That
YouTube
looks really
Rock
good.
Watch Later. Like one of my YouTube Watch Later lists has like over 4,000 films in it, like 4,000 videos. It's like I'm clearly not watching any of this at any time. It's like it keeps adding. It's like, and then I'll go to it later when I want to eat some food and just hit it on rotation, like hit the like mix it up thing, and it'll just give some. It would just like how much I say it would just like throw something out at me basically, like just
Yep.
one of those random films, and it goes from like 2017 till now. It's like that's how much stuff that I've thrown in there that I haven't really
Whew.
watched, but yeah,
I
like
do want to give them their credit.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
one that I mentioned before, Power Rangers Unworthy.
Oh yeah,
Theirs
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
really. I like
I've seen
theirs. They're
some of
like
those.
5 episodes in, I think.
Yeah, I think I've
But
seen the
I
first
like
couple.
at first I was like, let's just check one out, and I thought that was like, whoa, they did really good. They put in work. So
Yeah, that's what's up. I think we are practically done, but I do want to squeeze one last topic in that is that we did not mention at all beforehand, but I think we can do this. And then we can just end it. But there was rumors of a Nintendo Direct happening soon, very soon. Usually they always like say surprise it's this Tuesday or surprise it's this Thursday. I did record a vid that I haven't released yet about it, but my whole thing, what I've heard so far is that they said it's going to focus on third party, right? Like in
oh,
my vid, I was just saying I didn't have no problem with that. I just didn't want to see a whole bunch of ports from 20 years ago, basically. That's my only issue.
right.
But other than that, like it's still
Oh,
gonna be called a Nintendo Direct. So I just wanted to know if you had any predictions or anything you wanted to say regarding that, what you would like to see.
so if it's third party, it might be like Fall Guys, which is coming to them, and like other games like that
Yeah,
that
I
were
can
like
imagine that one
on the
too.
other consoles and is now coming to Switch. Which I mean
Hmm.
will be interesting to see what's going there, but I feel like a good chunk of them I would have already had on the
Yeah,
other consoles. You know what I would love to see more of?
yeah.
That crab game, the Dark Souls crab game.
You know what? I
That's
want
what
I
I
want to
want.
see that too. But I heard there was like hardcore Souls players who felt disrespected by it. I was just like, maybe I could see where you coming from if that's what you play all the time. But for somebody
Oh,
else,
I
this
don't care
might
what they
be.
think. I will.
You don't care. It's like it would have extra sold it if they somehow made that Mr. Krabs and they kind of spin it and then put more money behind that name. Like then nobody would be mad. They'd be like, "Oh, okay." But
That would
like,
be
I
hilarious.
do want to play that. That reminds me of the one game that just came out of the Kangaroo Kyo Kangaroo. Um,
Okay.
which is not really a Souls like that's just more a straight up platformer. But that was another one that looked a little cartoony that I was like, you know what, I don't care, I'll play that. Why not? But yeah, I do want to see the crab game. I don't think they showed that the last direct, so I don't know if they're gonna show that one again. But
True.
all I'm saying is that like what I said before, it was they had a lot of games that the Nintendo Directs that always ended up looking like a more polished Game Boy Advance game to me.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bad thing overall because sometimes playing those type of games in your hand and stuff is cool. All I'm saying is I just don't want to see something that's a 100% direct port from 15, 20 years ago where I could have literally played this whole time on any other system, whether it was PC or PS3 360 if you got it, or like when they were
3DS.
doing like the Wii games and like making them $60 or whatever. It's like that was kind of cringe to me too. But it's like it's more of their catalog, I guess. But like when like their last show or something, didn't they show like Star Wars: The Force Unleashed and Star Wars Knights of the Old
Yeah.
Republic, the first one? I was just like,
Yeah.
no, what are you doing? And I looked into it and stuff. I think with the Force Unleashed, it doesn't have the DLC. Somebody could correct me if I'm
Yikes.
wrong, but when I looked at it, it was like it was just the first part. Like you miss pieces of it if you don't get it. If I'm not mistaken, I might have to look at that again. But the thing is, I don't even know who would fact check me on that because who would really care to play that on the Switch? You care when it was on the
Yeah. Nah.
PS2 and probably the PS3, but not the Switch. You don't want to play that. You don't care about playing that on the Switch. You know, it's just like that's
Yeah.
the thing I didn't want to see.
That,
I rolled my eyes a little bit when it was just like, yeah, we ported Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and then we ported, remember that one spot? It was like this time last year, it was like a bulk of that show before they showed Link falling from the sky for the Breath of the Wild 2. It was just like port, and then
yep.
that Game of Watch thing just made me so ugh because I'm just like, yo, that's like the oldest port you could bring back and charge $50. I was so upset with the Nintendo community over that one thing. I really was because they let it go and made it a thing, and I'm like, you really just gave Nintendo $50 for this Digimon device Tamagotchi. You
Yep.
absolutely did that. So I don't want to be negative about it. I do want to see the show if they're going to make it. And I don't care about it being third party. I just don't want it to be something from 10, 20 years ago. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I
It
get you.
it could be
I get you.
new stuff that look like Game Boy. It could still look like Game Boy. It's fine. I just want it to be new. Not not
I agree.
not remastered port. Like, cause they did Portal. Like, remember they did Portal. I'm like, yo, like, I'm like, come on, man.
Oh.
Come on, man.
Yeah. No. Let's. Here's hoping that it is new and it's not just gonna be. What if it's just a recopy of the indie show we already watched
I don't know,
from
man.
the Summer Games Fest? Like
I
it's just
think
that again.
I can almost bet that Fall Guys will definitely be there,
Oh, for
and
sure, because they just started the new season. It's free to play. It looks more like a free to play game. Uh,
yeah,
and it's still. I don't think it still has the play like the fan base anymore. Like I've been looking like the new season to just play the new levels. It's now like as long as there's 38 players you can play. Where before it would try to go for 60 and you needed at least 48 or at least 48 in order for it to start. And then like last night I was playing it and had a squad with the bro and his wife, and we couldn't do any squad games because it just wasn't loading. So like nobody was doing the squad game thing.
Oh my gosh.
So it needs that fan base. So maybe advertising it will bring it back.
Well, I don't know. I don't even know what they would show third party that I absolutely want to play on the Switch. Because if it's third party, I usually do not play on the Switch unless it's somehow given to me or the price is so low I can't deny
Yeah.
it. Like other than that, I would choose every other platform at this point. But I'm still interested
Yeah,
to
I can't
see
think of
like
anything.
at least if they debut something like you ain't see it nowhere else, it's still fine. Like but at the end of the day, I will play it on PlayStation or Xbox if it's third party. But all I'm saying is no ports. For the love of God, no ports. Please. Nothing from 20 years ago. I will absolutely come back and get all the dislikes I can get. I don't care. I will get the dislikes for that one. Because I will rip that show in half if I just see. Because you know what cringed me so much? Is that the entire time they presented like if they talking to a 4-year-old. That was the part that
Yeah.
cringed me. They'll have that dude go in there and he'll smile, the one with the glasses, and he'll be like, "How is everything so far?" And then he'll pause on some like, I'm like, this is not Dora the Explorer. Like he will pause as if you're gonna say something to the screen.
So you're telling me when he paused, you didn't yell out good. Like you didn't yell.
Nah, I would have cursed at him if anything. Like he would just pause, and then you already know the music is like really kiddish. Like and what's so funny is you go back on YouTube and it's like all grown men, all grown women, beards, gray hair, wrinkles, all of that. They're all, oh my God, and they're doing all the faces and stuff. And I'm like, they present it like it's to a child, and then everybody who's trying to capitalize off of it is 30 plus. And I'm just like, would it kill you to make something similar to Metroid, and it doesn't have to be Metroid, and it's on your platform? Would it kill you to have something like that once or twice a year? Because they absolutely, when they introduced Sephiroth in Super Smash Brothers in his trailer, did they not for a second tease that Sephiroth killed? Like he actually, I probably got to bleep that. Like he absolutely like sliced Mario, right? Remember that part in the trailer? And
Yeah.
then it was like they panned it back and it was like, oh, he actually had him on his like collar. I was like, you teased that with your John Cena. You teased that with your top dude, right? Like that was Mario.
Look at my homie from Tekken just carrying lifeless bodies over a like a
Yeah,
cliff.
right. Was that not like
Throw 'em
exactly
off.
right? Like that's how and Smash is like one of they highest pieces of a franchise, their highest platform. Like for them to make those type of teases is like you can present your regular stuff like not at least like if you was presenting to a 14-year-old. Let's compromise a little bit instead of a 4-year-old. Like they could do it if they wanted to.
They could.
But, yeah.
They could. They won't, but they could.
Yeah. But that could wrap it up. All I'm saying is I don't want to see no ports. Other than that, I don't know what else to cover. Did you have anything else you want to throw in there at the end? I think we're done. I don't know. We got a good 2
we're good.
hours. Yes. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up. This was the Rocket Loacher Podcast, episode 3. Thank you. If you made it this far, hit the like button and share this out to a friend. Anybody looking for a new podcast, fresh new face, fresh brand new, brand new podcast, any other topics you might want to see, you definitely can put that in the comment section. If you made it this far, you definitely can put, any topic that you might want us to see, and we will greatly consider it since you made it this far.
For sure.
Other than that, we are out of here. Have a great rest of your day. Anything else you want to say to the people as your last words?
Yeah, man. Remember, it's hot out there, so hydrate or dihydrate. Keep drinking that water.
Yes, I'm going to drink a big gulp of water in a second. And for me, I'm just going to say what I always say. Don't forget to wash the back of your ears. All right, we out. Boom.
Cool.